Well, actually, to be totally honest with you, I was banging a girl at the time.
Right.
And she was good. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And she was moving to Edmonton for a job.
Yes.
So I was like, well, I'm not letting this piece of ass go away.
Right.
Right? Looking back now,
Yes.
I probably should have just let her go, but
Right.
you know, we all do crazy things for the pussy.
Right.
So anyway, next thing I know, I'm moving to Edmonton with her,
Yes.
and we moved out there with her mother and her mother's boyfriend.
Yes.
He was something special.
Right.
Anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked.
Yes.
This is important. This is the meaning of life.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so we get out there, and
Yes.
you know, I'm looking for work. I've done all kinds of stuff. You know,
Yes.
I had my industrial first aid from the movie
Yes.
business, right? So I thought, hey, you know, let's see, who can I patch up out here? You know.
Right.
So I checked out, and I actually found that there was this company called Northern Lights.
Yes.
And they were hiring for all positions for the oil camps.
Yes.
And I was like, well, hey, there you go. I'll go up there and check that out. Right?
Right.
So anyway, I go down to the Northern Lights office there.
Yes.
And I'm greeted by Inuit Joe.
Right.
And Joe takes me into one of the offices.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there with these oil people, and it was like Deepwater Horizon, you know?
Right.
Remember that movie where everything blew up? Yeah.
Right.
Well, picture an office kind of laid out like what they were working in
Yes.
a lot of the times in their office-y areas. Right?
Yes.
Right.
Well, the place, the shack that we were in there kind of looked like that.
Yes.
And I'm getting interviewed and stuff, and they're asking me all these questions. And,
Yes.
you know, have you ever managed people before? I'm like,
Yes.
does 250 people on a film set count?
Right.
I've done that shit in my sleep, right?
Right.
So anyway, they're like, do you have any experience with wildlife?
Yes.
And I'm like, well, pretty much name it. I mean, I've lived in the Pacific Northwest forever.
Yes.
Was a killer whale trainer when I was 16.
Right.
I think I pretty much got it. What do you need? You know. And one of their last questions was, do you have your gun license?
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, what the fuck do I need that for?
Right.
And they're like, oh, trust me.
Right.
Right? So I'm like, okay, sure. Yeah,
Yes.
well, I got it. No problem. I've grown up with guns. You might as well call me an American. I mean, come on.
Right.
So long story short, the Inuit go off and have a powwow, right?
Right.
And they say they'll call me in a couple of days.
Yes.
So that's fine. So
Yes.
I go back to my apartment and fuck the girlfriend. And,
Right.
you know. After a couple of days of wild sex, sure enough, I get the phone call.
Yes.
And they're like, can you come back out for another interview?
Yes.
And I was like, another interview?
Yes.
And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, did I fucking stutter? Well, what do you need another,
Right.
you know? Well, so I get back out there.
Yes.
And, of course, they're gearing me up.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Now they've decided that they're going to hire me as a camp manager.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, okay, so manage an oil camp.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's probably not going to be too hard. I've done a whole shit ton of management before. Let's roll, baby.
Yes.
Right.
Because the beauty thing
Yes.
is that the shifts were they'd send me out in the bush for 3 weeks.
Yes.
And then I come back into Edmonton, and of course, have like a week of just strippers and my girlfriend, right?
Right.
And I'm like, you know, hell yeah, I can do that.
Yes.
Let's go. So, it was kind of when they were stacking me up with safety binders and,
Right.
you know, my all weather suit.
Right.
Right? They're like, oh yeah, up where you're going to be, it gets to be minus 70.
Yes.
Right.
And I'm like, degrees?
Right.
And they're like, yes. Yeah, minus 70. Here's me,
Yes.
the guy who wants to live and die in Florida, right?
Right.
And they're sending me up to minus 70. Yeah, that's going to work out well.
Yes.
Right.
I just had these visions, I'd just be, dead, frozen solid in a snowdrift somewhere, clutching my rifle, like
Right.
fucking harbor seals nibbling at me, with their cute little fucking eyes. Yeah,
Right.
So anyway, there's this guy.
Yes.
And he's a big man.
Yes.
Right.
He was like 6'6" and
Yes.
probably 325, 350 pounds, somewhere in there, right?
Yes.
And he's got this brand new Dodge 4x4 quad cab.
Yes.
And he's driving me up to the camp in this thing, right?
Yes.
And the first one that we were going to was in the northern tip of British Columbia.
Yes.
Right on the Northwest Territories border. And he goes up there and he explains to me that,
Yes.
this is the first of 6 camps I'll be running.
Right.
What? I'm like, what?
Yes.
He's like, yeah, 6 camp. Yeah, he says it's a circuit. You come to this one.
Yes.
We take inventory. We make sure that the airdrops are coming in.
Yes.
Right.
Right. You make sure that the guys and ladies they've got what they need. Oh yeah. Contrary to popular belief, there are women that work up there.
Yes.
They just look like men.
Right.
So, you got to make sure you got the Kotex and a sledgehammer to install them.
Right.
Right? Yeah, those ladies are built.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Anyway, long story short, he runs me through the whole circuit of 6 camps. It takes 3 weeks to go through the circuit. You're 3 days at each camp.
Yes.
And then it's traveling time in between. And we do one in northern BC, one in northern Alberta, and then the other ones were all up in the Northwest Territories.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure, I don't know to this day, but I'm pretty sure we were driving over the ocean.
Right.
This was back in 2007.
Yes.
We did have GPS back then, but nothing like today, I didn't know where the hell I was.
Right.
Anyway, I know I'm rambling here.
Yes.
I'm getting sidetracked because the actual meaning of life isn't up with a polar bear and the Northern Lights. Yeah.
Right.
It is not, ladies and gentlemen. It is down south.
Yes.
Yes, it is. So after I do my first 3 weeks,
Yes.
I come back down into Edmonton with all the boys.
Yes.
Right.
And I go fuck the girlfriend and,
Right.
get that out of my system 3 days later. And anyway, long and the short is the mother and the father-in-law
Yes.
people,
Yes.
her mom and mom's boyfriend there, they had made arrangements that we were going to go and visit Uncle Carl.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, so it's this. So the mother explains to me that
Yes.
Uncle Carl is her brother and he's fucking rich.
Right.
So I guess part of the first part of the guide, the key to finding the meaning of life and true happiness.
Yes.
You have to be stinking rich.
Right.
There's one part. And I never thought about that until just now.
Yes.
I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, he was stinking rich. Yeah, that's probably part of it. Yeah.
Right.
But that's not the part that's going to grab your socks
Yes.
and make you go, oh, wow. Yeah.
Yes.
That's,
Right.
So So whatever. So we're going to go out on the following Saturday.
Yes.
We're going to go out, and he apparently, in addition to his oil business that does quite well.
Yes.
Right.
No, oddly enough, I wasn't working for him. I was working for Shell. Yeah, he had some. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, so he's got like a main house.
Yes.
And then he's got tons of property that you need like quads to drive through.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, whatever. We're gonna go. We're heading out to see him.
Yes.
And we're going to meet him at his. He had an RV park.
Yes.
And this is where a whole bunch of people in their RVs and stuff, they park there and they pay rent, and it's
Yes.
Right.
It's all part of that RV living thing.
Yes.
There's apparently a great number of people that live in RVs.
Yes.
And just travel, the United States and Canada forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, kind of, I guess that's their way of eternal happiness and the meaning of life too, right? So
Right.
I guess, okay, fair enough. It could be different for different people,
Yes.
but I think Uncle Carl's way works for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it does. And you'll see what I mean in a minute here.
Yes.
All right. So we go out and we go up to this trailer that says manager on it.
Yes.
Right. And of course, he's slumped over, sitting in his chair in the corner on the front patio. Right.
Right.
So we walk up and we all do the introductions and everything
Yes.
else. So you get to know him and that and so on and so forth. And find out he's got a huge family.
Yes.
Like he's got his wife and he's got his kids.
Yes.
But Uncle Carl at the time was like 62, I guess.
Yes.
So his kids were grown up and they had kids of their own. Right?
Yes.
So, there's fucking kids everywhere. Right.
Right.
Now, at first, this put me off. Right.
Right.
Because I don't like kids.
Right.
I've got 10 of them, but I don't like them. Right.
Right.
So, no, not even the small ones. No. So anyway, the big family.
Yes.
Of course, they're all hanging around Uncle Carl because he's a millionaire, right?
Right.
So, oh, gee, Uncle Carl, my truck blew an engine. Oh, well, here, we'll go out on the weekend and get you a new one.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what Uncle Carl's like.
Yes.
He's like, fuck it, let's go get you a new one.
Yes.
Right.
I'm like, Uncle Carl, my Hummer H1 is,
Right.
it's broken. He's like, what the fuck you want me to do about it?
Right.
And he says, you came here in that piece of shit Dodge. What do you,
Right.
where's your Hummer? I said, well, it's broken.
Right.
It's like, It's like, well, drive around your Dodge. And I'm thinking in my head, fuck you, Uncle Carl. Fuck you.
Right.
Oh, I see how it is. You're just all generous with the family folk.
Yes.
Okay, fine. I'm going to marry this girl. Yeah. Yeah. See how you like that. No, but it was good.
Yes.
It was good.
Right.
So anyway, and now that I'm thinking about it,
Yes.
it actually was Christmas time.
Yes.
So kind of, it was about mid-December, I guess.
Yes.
We went out to meet him, 2007. So, so we're hanging out. We're talking with him.
Yes.
Meeting. I think we met one of his daughters.
Yes.
And a couple of her kids, and then we met her white trash boyfriend.
Right.
There's a lot of that. It was down near Calgary, so
Right.
you get that. Yeah. All right. So I'm noticing something though.
Yes.
I'm noticing he's drinking some clear substance.
Yes.
Right.
What is he drinking? Well, I didn't know it at the time.
Yes.
Because, we just got there, just made the introductions, everything else, just sitting down, kind of, talking and joking and having a good time, right? But, of course, him being the hospitality-ridden Albertan, he starts pouring us this clear stuff.
Yes.
In shot